This is Mission Control Houston. Welcome to today's ISS Update. It is Thursday, June 14th, 2012. This is a live view inside the International Space Station's Flight Control Room. The Expedition 31 crew is busy on board the orbiting complex today, which is presently about 245 miles above Africa. They were working today on a series of experiments and some maintenance work. Oleg Kononenko, who is the commander of Expedition 31, is beginning the process of packing up the Soyuz. That will soon bring he and Andre Kuipers and Don Pettit home. He is packing it up full of items that's going to come home with that crew. They are in their final days aboard the International Space Station as they are due to land on Sunday, July 1st at 3:15 a.m. Central Time in the southern landing zone there in Kazakhstan. Of course, we'll have live coverage of all that here on NASA television. Additionally, today, Kononenko has been doing some surface sampling inside the Russian segment. This is basically where they take some swabs of some of the hard surfaces there in the Russian segment of the orbiting complex, just to make sure that everything is neat and tidy and there's no bacteria growing in certain sections. Gennady Padalka, another member of Expedition 31, has been doing some routine maintenance on the Electron system. This is the Russian version of the oxygen generator on board the station. There's also one inside the U.S. segment. Sergei Revin has been transferring oxygen from the Progress vehicle that is currently attached to the International Space Station. That Progress brought up 2.5 tons of supplies to the crew, but it also transfers over fuel and water and air to the space station itself. There you see the Progress 47 docked with the the Pirs docking compartment on the bottom side of the International Space Station. Poisk is up top. That is where the Soyuz 30 or the TMA-04M is currently docked. That is the vehicle that brought up Padalka and Sergei Revin and Joe Akaba. There is the Soyuz 29 or the TMA-03M. That is the vehicle we mentioned earlier that's going to be bringing home Kononenko, Kononenko, Kuipers, and Pettit coming up in a couple of weeks. And then back there at the back is the ATV-3, the European automated transfer vehicle that came up back in March that is currently stocked full of supplies that the crew continues to unload and pack it full of trash. That ATV is going to be burning up in the Earth's atmosphere at the end of the summer. Joe Akaba has been updating software on one of the station's laptop computers. He has also been working on the Glacier experiment. This is an onboard freezer that keeps samples and other items that the crew needs to store at low temperatures. He's also been working on the BASS experiment. This stands for the burning and suppression of solids. The crew has been working on this for the last several days. BASS is an interesting experiment. It takes a look at how flames burn in space. They act a little bit differently up there with no gravity. The accepted approach for putting out fires here on Earth is to aim the extinguisher or the suppressant at the base of the flame, which that is really where the flame is born. It's where it's most stable. It's where air enters the flame. But of course, up in space, it acts a little bit differently. So this takes a look at that and will be important to future spaceflight in terms of dealing with fires on board. Andre Kuipers has been inspecting the water on-off valves that are in the Columbus laboratory. He is also reviewing procedures for software updates on the Express Rack 4. And there, as the Nile River comes into view, the crew continues to work, including Don Pettit, who's been taking samples from the fluid physics experiment facility. This is inside the Kibo laboratory. That particular rack came up on STS-123 and is one of the core experiment components inside the Japanese laboratory. The crew also has some Earth observation opportunities today, including Argentina, Burundi, as well as Singapore. Of course, if you would like to take a look at any of these images, just log on to the NASA website at www.nasa.gov/station.